Before she even stepped onto a WNBA court, they were already gunning for her. Caitlin Clark didn't just arrive in the pros. She arrived with noise. Cameras flashing, headlines screaming, social media in flames. But the welcome she got from the league? Cold, brutal, unforgiving. Veteran players didn't treat her like a rising star. They treated her like a threat, like she didn't belong, like she'd stolen something. And what came next wasn't basketball, it was war. They hit her, hard, foul after foul. No grace, no learning curve, just rough, punishing defense. Caitlin Clark quickly became the most fouled rookie in WNBA history. But the thing about Clark, she doesn't break, she builds. And what she built from those hits shocked the world. But to understand Caitlin Clark's fire, that unrelenting spark that turns pressure into power, you have to go back to where it all began. January 22, 2002, West Des Moines, Iowa. Caitlin Elizabeth Clark entered the world as the middle child in a house full of competition. She wasn't born into basketball. She was born into a battleground. With an older brother, Blake, and a younger one, Colin, the Clark household was a never-ending contest. Who could run faster? Who could eat more pancakes? Who got to ride shotgun? Everything was a scoreboard. Losing wasn't just disappointing, it was unacceptable. Caitlin didn't cry when she lost. She raged. She dissected. She prepared to win the next time. And if the rules didn't suit her, she bent them. If someone underestimated her, they wouldn't do it twice. One family story says it all. A backyard game turned into a screaming match. Her brother made a call she didn't agree with. Caitlin didn't argue. She launched him into a wall so hard, his head split open. There was blood, a trip to the ER. And while her mom was panicking and her brother crying, Caitlin stood there, furious, not remorseful. She wasn't proud of hurting him, but even at that young age, she couldn't stand to lose. Her mom had to break up dozens of those kinds of brawls over the years. But what others might have seen as bad behavior was something deeper, an unfiltered hunger to win, to prove herself, to matter. And that wasn't just limited to sports. Caitlin turned everything into a competition, school projects, musical recitals, even family dinner conversations. She once memorized a piano piece days ahead of her recital because she couldn't bear the thought of another student playing it better. That's the kind of edge she carried, even at 7. That fire didn't fade as she grew older. It sharpened, hardened. She wasn't the fastest kid or the tallest, but she was the most driven. That middle child chip on her shoulder, it became a full-blown identity. And when she finally found basketball, that perfect storm of strategy, speed, and swagger, everything snapped into place. The game didn't tame her. It unleashed her. Her dad, Brent, had played college basketball and baseball. Her grandfather coached football. Sports were in the family's DNA. But Caitlin wasn't just athletic. She was obsessed with winning. At age 5, she could dribble like a seasoned point guard. By the time most kids were still learning how to shoot, Caitlin was competing against boys in their leagues because there wasn't one for girls her age. And that made her tougher, faster, meaner on the court. By 6th grade, she was playing for the All-Iowa Attack AU team in Ames, facing girls older, bigger, stronger, and beating them anyway. At 13, one coach watched her hit a step-back 3 and follow it with a no-look laser pass. Other kids wanted ice cream after wins. Caitlin just wanted to keep playing, keep winning. That drive, it only got bigger. Then came high school, Dowling Catholic, Iowa basketball royalty. On February 4, 2019, as a junior, she scored 60 points in one game, 25 in the first quarter, 13 three-pointers, a state record. Even the opposing team's fans lined up for her autograph. She'd end her high school career with over 2,500 points, 4th all-time in Iowa. Miss Iowa Basketball, Gatorade Player of the Year, All-Iowa Athlete of the Year. She was already a legend before her college journey even began. But when Caitlin Clark arrived at the University of Iowa in 2020, the stands were empty. COVID had silenced the arenas. No noise, just her and the game. And she exploded. In her very first college game, she dropped 27 points, 8 rebounds, for assists. Then, just a few weeks later, she pulled off a triple-double, 13 points, 13 rebounds, 10 assists, on a bad shooting night. That's what made her different. She didn't stop when things weren't working. She adjusted, elevated, led. By the end of her freshman season, Caitlin Clark didn't just lead the nation in scoring, she detonated expectations. What she accomplished in those first 30 games wasn't just remarkable, it was revolutionary. She scored 799 points, the most by any freshman in NCAA history, male or female. That's 26.6 points per game, from an 18-year-old who had only just arrived on the college stage. And she didn't do it quietly. She did it while the entire country was watching. Clark was a walking highlight reel. She hit 116 three-pointers that season, nearly 4 per game. She didn't just shoot from the arc. She launched from the logo from angles that defied logic. And somehow, they always seemed to go in. Defenders would pick her up 35 feet from the basket, and she still made them pay. She dropped 30 points or more in 12 games, something most seniors dream of doing once or twice. She made it look easy, but behind those numbers was a mindset few understood. Caitlin wasn't padding stats. She was dragging Iowa back into national relevance. Every bucket she scored, every no-look pass she threw, pulled the Hawkeyes into the spotlight. Games that once aired on local cable were now on national TV. Press conferences filled up. Coaches from opposing teams admitted they had no idea how to stop her. And when she spoke, it wasn't with arrogance. It was with purpose. That season, she wasn't just scoring. She was leading. Her maturity shocked everyone. Fans, analysts, even her coaches. When she had a cold shooting night, she adjusted. She created plays for teammates. She didn't sulk. She recalibrated. That's what made her different. The accolades followed. She won 23 Big Ten honors, was named Freshman of the Week a record 13 times, and Player of the Week 5 times, the first freshman in conference history to pull that off. She was a unanimous All-Big Ten first-team selection. And then came the national recognition, National Freshman of the Year, shared with UConn star Paige Buchers, making Clark the first Iowa player to ever win that honor. She wasn't just breaking records, she was building a legacy, and it was only the beginning. In her sophomore year, she did something no one in NCAA women's basketball history had ever done. Lead the country in both points and assists. 27 points, 8 assists, 8 rebounds a game. No one does that. She blurred the lines between scorer and playmaker. She saw the court like a chessboard. Defenders swarmed her. Double teams, triple teams. It didn't matter. She passed through it like water. But with greatness comes a target. The hits got harder. The fouls dirtier. Coaches built entire game plans just to wear her down. But Caitlin Clark doesn't back down. She rises, and the world began to take notice. TV ratings spiked. Arenas sold out. People who had never watched women's basketball tuned in for her. And then came 2023. Iowa hadn't reached the Final Four in 30 years. Caitlin Clark changed that. She dropped 191 points in the NCAA tournament. Yes, 191. In the Elite Eight, she posted a 41-point triple-double, the first in NCAA tournament history. She either scored or assisted on 70 of Iowa's 97 points. That's dominance. That's once-in-a-generation talent. Then came South Carolina, undefeated, defending champs, 42-game win streak. Clark didn't flinch. Another 41-point performance. She single-handedly dismantled the best team in the country. In the national title game, she scored 30 and made 8 threes, a record. Iowa lost, but Caitlin's legend had already eclipsed the scoreboard. Her senior year, even more legendary. On February 15, 2024, she passed Kelsey Plum as the NCAA's all-time women's scoring leader. Then on March 3rd, she did the unthinkable. She passed Pete Maravich. Caitlin Clark became the highest scoring player in NCAA Division I history, man or woman. That night, she barely reacted. The arena exploded. She just played on. Business as usual. Fox Sports launched the Caitlin Cam, a live stream that followed only her during games. Her face trended daily. Her shots from the logo became art. Her fire, contagious. She wasn't just lifting Iowa. She was lifting the sport. In the 2024 Big Ten Championship, she delivered maybe her greatest performance, 30 points, 17 assists, 10 rebounds, the first ever triple-double in a Big Ten title game. Then in the Final Four, She crushed UConn in the final minutes. A clutch 7 points in 2.5 minutes sealed the win. Iowa returned to the national title game again and again came up short. But Caitlin's story was far from over. On April 15, 2024, she was drafted first overall by the Indiana Fever. Everyone knew it was coming, but no one could predict what happened next. She broke the league before she played a minute. The Caitlin Clark effect was real and measurable. Her jersey became the league's bestseller. Game attendance jumped 88% when she was on the court. She pulled in 700,000 All-Star votes, the most ever. She didn't just play in the WNBA. She transformed it, but the league wasn't ready to celebrate her. Her debut? 20 points and 10 turnovers. The most ever for a WNBA debut. Why? Because this wasn't college. This was survival. In Chicago, she got slammed by Kennedy Carter. An off-ball hit so dirty it was later ruled a flagrant foul. Clark was battered, bruised, targeted. She missed 10 games to injury after never missing one at Iowa. She led the league in turnovers. The rookie welcome was relentless. She didn't fold. She evolved. On August 18th, she broke the rookie assist record, 337 total, the highest ever in a single WNBA season. She also scored 769 points, another rookie record, and 122 threes, another. In one game, she had 19 assists and contributed to 66 total points, breaking a record held by Diana Taurasi. She became the first rookie in WNBA history to notch a triple-double, and then did it again. 3 triple-doubles in 41 games. Legends like Candace Parker and Sabrina Ionescu were now her company. She won Rookie of the Year with 66 of 67 votes. She made the All-WNBA first team. She led all rookies in points, assists, steals, and minutes. She wasn't just the best rookie. She was one of the best players in the league, period. But here's what most people didn't see. Caitlin Clark was breaking down. Her body couldn't take the pounding. So she made a choice, not for the cameras, not for the internet, but for survival. She rebuilt her body. She partnered with Indiana Fever's athletic performance coach, Sarah Kessler, to transform her strength. They trained 4 to 5 days a week, single-leg exercises for explosiveness, isometric work for balance, left arm training to level up her passes. She even started taking creatine, controversial to some, essential to her. The result? That viral sideline photo. Caitlin cheering at an Iowa game, muscles popping. The internet went crazy. Millions of views. ESPN commentary. She finally joked about it. It was the camera angle. Eyes getting out of control. But then she got real. I'm trying to get stronger. It's something I actually enjoy. She wasn't flexing for clout. She was building armor. Because she was tired of being knocked around. Because being the face of women's basketball comes with a target. Through it all, one constant kept her grounded, her family. Her father Brent coached her when she was young. Her mother and a marketing pro helped her navigate fame. Her brothers made her tougher. And in the middle of the chaos, she found love. In April 2023, she started dating Connor McCaffrey, son of Iowa's men's coach. Quietly at first, but by August the world knew. Best end to summer, she posted, smiling beside him on a boat. Later, he called her inspiring and amazing. She replied with a simple, "Love you." Their love wasn't flashy, but it was real. In October 2023, she launched the Caitlin Clark Foundation. Before ever playing a WNBA game, she raised over $100,000 for a local food pantry. She focused on kids, on education, on health. She played for more than herself. Caitlin Clark's story isn't just about basketball. It's about the quiet war behind every stat line. It's about showing up when your legs are bruised, your name is under attack, and your spirit's been tested more times than anyone can count, and still stepping onto the court with your chin up, ready to make magic. Because what Caitlin represents goes beyond points and trophies. She's the girl who spent her childhood battling brothers in the backyard, earning every inch of respect with scraped knees and broken toys. She's the teenager who scored 60 in a high school game not to chase records, but because winning was the only thing that ever felt natural. She's the college phenom who didn't ask for hype, but earned it, one deep three at a time. while shouldering the pressure of an entire sport shifting on her shoulders. And then she walked into the WNBA, not as a savior but as a target. They fouled her, shoved her, mocked her, said she didn't belong. They tried to silence the roar before it could echo. But instead of folding, she transformed. Not for attention, not for the headlines, but because survival demanded it. She turned pain into power, muscle into armor, and pressure into fuel. She rebuilt herself in the weight room. She studied film obsessively. She fine-tuned her left hand, rewired her footwork, pushed her body to the brink, because that's what greatness requires when the world keeps trying to knock you off the throne before you even sit down. And through it all, through viral fame, brutal fouls, broken records, and back-to-back heartbreaks on the biggest stage, she never lost her fire, never stopped giving back, never stopped lifting others. She stayed grounded in her family, loyal to her roots, and hungry for something bigger than herself. They tried to break her. They couldn't, because Caitlin Clark isn't just changing the game. She's rewriting the rules, reimagining what's possible, and redefining what it truly means to be great. And she's only getting started.